Today I'm going to take you along with me to a day of street photography, so you can see my process from beginning to end. For my street photography, I mainly use film camera, so that's what I'm taking today. So I want to shoot medium format and also 35mm. So for the medium format, I'm packing my rolleiflex 3.5F, so that goes into my bag. This is the bag I'm using these days. So it's perfect because it has two compartments, so I can keep both of the cameras. So on one side, I put my rolleiflex, and on the other side, I will put my 35mm camera, the Pentax MX. And that goes in there as well. And then of course we need some film stock. So because this time I'm spending the night in London, I will take with me a roll of Il4 Delta 3200 35mm, a roll of color film Kodak Color Plus 35mm as well. And for the medium format I will be shooting Kentmere 400 if I want to shoot black and white. I have this roll of CineStill 50D, which I don't normally use, but this one is expiring soon, so I would like to use it. Today is supposed to be sunny intervals. And this is my go-to film for color on medium format, the Kodak 200. Okay, so let's pack the film as well in our nice bag. Everything comes together and we are ready to go. I'm also taking with me, very important, my light meter, because the light meter on my rolleiflex doesn't work anymore. So I packed that one as well. I live in Bedford, England, and even though doing street photography here is okay, the best for me and the most fun is to go to London, which is only 40 minutes away by train, and do street photography there. So that's where I'm heading now. Come along with me and let's see what we find today. Okay guys, so I made it to London already, and right now I'm at the British Library. So normally when I come to London for street photography, this is one of my first stops, because in here they have one of the cleanest toilets in London. So I come here, go to the toilet before I start my photo walk, but also I load my camera in here. So because I'm doing film photography, choosing the right film stock for the day, the amount of light and so on is very important. So for example, I was planning to load a roll of Kodak Gold 200, which is 200 ISO, but now it's a bit overcast. So now I changed my plan. So I will load the roll of Kentmere 400, because this is a 400 ISO film, so it will be better for an overcast day like this. So it's always about choosing which one will be the best for the conditions. And here I am exploring the streets and capturing the first photos of the day. I have been walking for a round already. Normally I go to the South Bank in London for my street photography, and I walk all the way to the Borough Market. Really nice subjects and scenes normally along this area, and I'm almost finished with that roll of Kentmere 400. So that's what I do in a day of street photography in London, just walk around as much as I can, taking pictures. I don't worry too much about having an intention for a particular project. I just keep my heart and my mind open, and I shoot whatever triggers some emotion in me as well. And if I have to give you a quick tip for street photography, I have two main advices I would give you. First one is, as I said, keep an open mind and an open heart, and also smile. When you smile, you look very friendly, and then people will not feel threatened by you taking their picture. So I have found that these principles are very, very useful when you practice street photography. I have finished my photo walk of the day. My legs brought me to Hyde Park. Very beautiful day here in London, very beautiful summer day. So yeah, at the end I finished 2 rolls of 120 medium format and one of 35 millimeter. So normally when I finish my photo walk I just head back home, and then there is still excitement because so far I haven't seen any of the pictures I have taken today. So this is one of the nice things about film photography. So I will go back home, and then once we get there we will process the film and I will show you the rest of my workflow. When I'm heading back home in the train, it's always a good time to reflect about my photography, what other film stock I would like to try, what project I could start. But if I can give you one advice about street photography is that you should practice as often as you can. It's like any sport. The more you do it, the better you'll become. Once I get to home, normally on the same day, and if I'm too tired, I do it the next day. I develop all of my film myself at home. In here I'm developing the roll of CineStill 50D using the Bellini C41 kit. And at this stage I'm always looking forward for the results. It's always a very exciting step of my workflow when I remove the negative out of the tank and see the photos for the first time, or the negative. Always feels like Christmas morning. I never know if I got the best photo of the year, for example. So yeah, a few things in life are better than holding this freshly developed negative and taking it out from the tank. The negatives are dry already, and now the next step on my workflow is to digitize them, and for doing that I use my very nice flatbed scanner, the Epson V500. So you have seen some of the pictures already, but at this point when I have finished developing, this is the very first time when I get to see my final images, and it's always a fantastic feeling, of course. So sometimes I get good pictures, sometimes I get okay pictures. Of course, we get a lot of normal or bad photos, but for me, all of this process of analog photography is more about the enjoyment of the process rather than the results sometimes. So of course it is nice to get bangers, as we call it, but I also enjoyed the process very much, even if I didn't got any particularly amazing photo in a particular day. Before I show you the last step on my workflow, I will just share with you some of the other photos that I took during this photo walk. You have seen some of them already, of course, but I will show you some of the other ones that I took on this day. So there you have it. This is normally a day in my life as a street photographer. I tend to do this once per week, go to London, take some pictures, sometimes every 2 weeks. And what I do is that every 3-4 months, sometimes every 6 months, I put together my best photos, and then I self-publish a small photo scene, so a small magazine containing some of my best photos. I really feel that printing and organizing my photos in a physical medium really kind of complete the whole cycle of analog photography. And I do feel that having something tangible in your hands to look at elevates your work and your pictures as well. And it's nice that even though of course I'm not super famous, I know that once I'm gone, at least somewhere, somebody will have some of my work on their desk or in their bookshelf. If you're interested in grabbing one of these, you can check the link below on the description. That's all for today's video. I hope you got inspired or you learned something new along the way. And I will leave you now with 2 more videos. This one you can see in detail how I developed the color film from home. And on this other video, you can have a look on how it is to use a rolleiflex for my still photography. So I go into details on that one as well. Well, don't be a stranger, subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I will see you on the next one.